Kamusta everyone? Today is not the usual gameplay or highlights. This time, we're diving into something that honestly shook the entire mlbb community, and that is the banning of BTK from the upcoming MSC, despite being one of the most recognized and passionate teams from North America. BTK, now under sponsorship with Seoul, was recently disqualified and banned from competing. Not just certain players but the entire team. And yes, you heard that right, the whole squad. This decision came as a shocker, especially considering their history in the scene, so let's break it down. What actually happened? Now, before we get to the reactions and opinions, let's talk about how this all started and why Moonton dropped the hammer on BTK. It began when Mobazane, technically a sub, but still the brain and backbone of BTK, and Hoon, another major team member and one of the biggest mlbb influencers in North America, decided to do something bold. They joined a 48-hour streaming campaign for none other than Honor of Kings, a direct competitor to mlbb. And not just a short collab, we're talking 2 full days of streaming and promoting the rival game live to their massive audiences. Now, I'll be honest, I get why they did it. BTK received no cash prize during the last NACT, nothing, 0. And with the upcoming MSC and all the travel, housing and logistics that go with it, they probably needed help. My guess? HOK offered a huge payout to stream for 48 hours, something that could have covered a lot of their upcoming expenses. It wasn't necessarily betrayal, it looked more like survival. But unfortunately, Moonton didn't see it that way. Mobazane didn't stay silent. He went live and shared his side. He talked about the lack of communication from Moonton, how the rules weren't clear, how they were left guessing, and how even after all the years of carrying the NA scene, this is how things ended. His frustration felt real, like someone who gave everything to a game and got blindsided.
They don't care. They don't care. They're just literally spit in all of our faces. And it's amazing how like insecure and scared they are of HOK. I might leave Amelia.
Donated $2
I really don't want to, guys. I really don't want to. I love the game. I love YSS. But I can't take it. This is bad.
Akosidogie gave his own reaction, and his take was more grounded. He pointed out how this could have been handled better by Moonton, and how even if rules exist, they should be clearly communicated and not enforced selectively. But at the same time, he acknowledged that being the face of mlbb comes with responsibility, and promoting a direct competitor comes with risks.
Pag nakapasok ka ng international, for example, MSC or any kind of tournament na ML, sabi natin MSC Worlds, tol, hindi ka pa din pwede mag-livestream ng ibang game. But, now, here is the catch, guys. May rulebook sila. Black and white, written. Nakasulat naman doon. Tinignan ko yung rules. Pinanood ko yung vlog ni Fwydchicken. Okay? May rules doon. Sa rules doon, nakasulat doon kung kailan yung start ng pwedeng start ng nila, ng MSC contract, ng rule. Kailangan lang per month. Kasi yung rule na yun, kailangan mo yung pirmahan eh. Acknowledgement yun eh. Kumbaga NDA yun eh. Kung di nyo alam ibig sabihin ng NDA, hindi ko din alam. Ibig sabihin, non-disclosure agreement. Okay, alam ko na. Blood ko. Buti na lang. Munti ka na ako maging bobo dun. Yes, sir! May date and terms and condition. Pag sininyahan yun ng isang tao, tulad natin, na kupal. Okay? Ibig sabihin, we agree on that fucking contract. Now, nakasulat doon kung kailan mag-i-start, nakasulat doon kailan magtatapos. Nakita natin yun, guys. Napakadali, napakalinaw. Kahit sinong abogado, pag binasin, may pecha, gago! Di ba? Yun yun.
Then came Fwydchicken, who broke down everything in detail, from how it started to how unclear the rules were, to how things escalated from a sponsorship to a ban with 0 mediation. According to him, it felt more like mismanagement than malice. But still, the punishment hit everyone involved, including those who didn't break any rules.
And again, it's just really weird how they put that rule. I can see how some, if you're reaching for it, can interpret it that way, but the transparency of it is still in question. And that is ultimately what this boils down to. They retain the final interpretation of the rules, and you can say it right here, Moonton officially retains the right of final interpretation of these rules as entitled to impose penalties not listed below, and how it's the best interest of the MSC, basically anything that's not that they interpret as conflicting to MSC, they can do whatever they want. And the final interpretation basically means that although the transparency of the rulebook is questionable, since they retain the final rights to it, they basically determine what it means. So it like kind of questions the validity of a rulebook if they can just change whatever it means to their own interests or their own way of meaning it. Like they can just twist how it sounds, whatever, to benefit themselves. So yeah, that's cool. That's fun.
All right. Hi, this is Hoon. I'm here to talk about my experience and opinion about this whole situation. I've noticed that me and Zane, especially, getting a lot of heat and blame about what's going on, and then I just want to say that if I knew this would have been the result, definitely I wouldn't have taken the deal in the first place. And then it was right after NACT that I was introduced with the sponsorship, which was around in May back in Oklahoma. I heard that there's gonna be a sponsorship deal with HOK, and then I said okay, because well, that's how it usually goes with any sponsorship deal. At that point, it was too late, and then we were just hoping on that Munton wouldn't take to just basically ruin our career. But they did, and I feel super bad that I could not compete, and then taking the chances away from my teammates as well.
What's up, boys? We're back. Mostly we're talking about AWC and the bans and whatnot. You know, nothing really much to really say other than us getting DQ'd. But I will say that it does feel like shit.
Now let's talk about why Munton made this decision. Why take out the entire team over 2 players promoting another game? Here's my personal take. Munton has been under pressure in the US for a while now. Their US branch was sold to an American company. They almost got banned entirely in the US due to legal tensions. So they're walking on eggshells, and that means becoming way more protective of their image and branding. When they saw 2 of NA's top mlbb faces streaming for HOK for 48 hours straight, they likely saw that as a betrayal or a threat. So instead of warnings, they went nuclear. But here's what bugs me. In the Philippines, when Blacklist International faced controversy, Munton only gave graceful exit for the players involved. The org stood. The unaffected players kept playing. Why didn't BTK get the same treatment? Why punish the whole roster when not everyone streamed HOK? This double standard hurts the community, especially when NA is already struggling for attention and support. Now listen, I never thought something this massive would happen. BTK has been the face of North America, and even if Mobazane is technically a sub now, he is BTK. They've been around since the early days and they grew with this game. But let me make this clear, I'm not taking sides. Munton has a business to protect and they want to avoid anything that could hurt their brand. But still, the punishment feels too extreme. If it were up to me, I would have done this differently. Give a stern warning to those directly involved. Recognize that these players are passionate and helped grow mlbb in NA. Take into account that they got no prize pool in NACT and were just looking for ways to survive. Enforce rules clearly and transparently and equally across all regions. Right now, things are not looking good for BTK. Unless Munton reconsiders or this issue gains serious attention, this might be the end of their M-Series journey, maybe even their mlbb careers. And honestly, if this continues, the entire North American scene might collapse even further. Anyway, those are my honest thoughts. What do you guys think? Did Munton go too far? Or was BTK out of line by streaming HOK? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep it respectful. Leave a like if you appreciate honest breakdowns like this, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more reactions, news, and deep dives from the mlbb scene. I'm just here to talk, reflect, and hopefully help the community understand what's really going on. See you in the next one. By the way, guys, I am crafting a deep dive video on our main guy xborg on his latest patch buff. So if you are interested, go ahead and subscribe. Okay, I'll go away now. Bye.